I greet you one more time. Welcome to Homo Politicus on Enterprise TV here in Lagos. I am Citizen Jones Hussein. Let's look at this today. Federal government hikes electricity tariff for Band A customers. Did you get that right? Federal government hikes electricity tariff for customers listed as belonging to Band A. The tariff cut was bound to come anyway. Bigger electricity consumers, those listed as Band A customers enjoying a 20-hour-a-day supply of electricity, are having now to pay 225 naira per kilowatt of electricity from about 66 naira. That's an increase of 300%. We know that there are about 12 million electricity consumers in the country, out of which 15% are in the Band A customer list. Of course, many customers have been downgraded to Band B due to the non-fulfillment of the required hours of electricity by discos. Now, but away from this, the need to provide stable power that enhances production cannot be overstressed. After all, after close to 64 years of independence, we're still to get it right in the power supply sector. Mr. President has been asked to declare an emergency in the power sector. Would he act? Let's go there. I have my discussants ready. Let's meet and greet Dr. Olabisi Deji Folutile. She's a journalist and a public affairs analyst. I greet you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
She's joined by chartered accountant and political commentator Tumi Olowe. Tumi, welcome.
Thank you, Citizen.
Yeah, we're discussing electricity, or if you like, the power system in this country, power supply system. The government has hiked the tariff for Band A customers. Bisi, you belong in that list, or don't you?
Well, I don't know if that is where I belong now.
Meaning, do you enjoy
well,
a 20?
In my area,
yeah.
We are supposed to be on Band A, really.
Okay.
But I don't think we ever enjoyed up to 20 hours of power supply. So maybe
so you are
I'm
not
part of the people that will have been downgraded to Band B.
Okay.
Right now. Anyway, but then all I see in this, could it be that government is trying to now tax the rich to probably pay the poor? Could it be what we are witnessing here? Because let's ask ourselves, who are the people in Band A? The category of people in Band A are usually wealthy neighborhoods.
Okay.
Yes, wealthy neighborhoods, and we also have companies also. Some manufacturers, they still prefer to pay that high than spend money on diesel and the rest. But as per consumers that are not businesses, I know that usually the Band A customers are in wealthy neighborhoods.
Okay.
So maybe government is now looking at it that these people are wealthy in any case. And if they are also consuming 15% of the total power generation for the entire country.
And supply.
And supply, yes, supply rather, not even generation, supply. So maybe government is looking at it that, well, you are rich people, you can afford to pay more, and you don't even want to go through any form of inconvenience, and we even supply you most of these things that we produce. So pay for our businesses. Because in this story also, they said that they are using 800 feeders for this Band A category. And they are now reducing that feeder to 500.
500, yeah.
So now, the question is, this hike, is it that these people that are paying this thing now, because you have reduced what you are giving to them, and you have increased the amount of money they will be paying you by 300%. So, are they subsidizing these discos operations? Because that is what it means to me. You are now charging them to subsidize your own operation because you have reduced what you are giving to them, yet you are increasing the amount of money they are paying. Maybe for the first time, Nigerians will be happy and say that, yes, maybe they are rich people. Let them continue to...
Let them pay for being
let
rich.
Let them pay for being rich, because that's, in a way, the way this seems to be.
To me, is that what you are reading here?
There's a lot of obscurity in the electricity ecosystem in Nigeria. And for me, the first point of call is transparency for everybody. Now, when we transited from NEPA to discos, GENCOs, and stuff like that, a whole lot of people, even till now, don't know their rights as electricity consumers. And these discos take advantage of that to rip off people. You're supposed to meter people, and that's the first point of call for me. But you didn't do that because it pays them not to meter. They can still go ahead and be charging and be using estimated billing, which does not follow the regulators' guidelines. So, and government has been injecting money into the discos, giving them subvention, support. And
which to me was the first wrong step.
Which was the first, because these people came in saying that they have the capacity to run this business. But they got there, and then we discovered that they didn't have the money to provide the needed infrastructures to get electricity to the consumers. Now we generate over 13,000 megawatts of electricity in Nigeria.
Generate?
Yes, but we cannot transmit more than 4,000
That's where the problem
megawatts.
is.
That's
transmission.
Transmission. Now, so when you look around, you see their infrastructures are decayed. So they should have invested money in making sure that they get to the end users. Imagine if we are doing 70% of our installed generating capacity. It will make a whole lot of difference. So all along, the government has been subsidizing electricity cost because the discos are saying that they need money they need a cost-reflective tariff for them to recoup their investment and to be able to go to banks and get more credit to provide the necessary infrastructures, which they've not, because they are owing the financial houses. Some of them that had taken their license is because they're indebted to people that have now taken over their companies. So government handing off now is probably to also signal to potential investors that you can come in. We will not disturb you from making your money.
So as the business said, the rich have to pay more.
It's not only the rich. You see, electricity really is expensive anywhere in the world. That is the truth about it. But, like I said, there has to be clarity in what we are doing. Now, we are talking about band A, band B, band... A whole lot of consumers don't even know which band they are in.
So if there's a rich man like you in an environment, do we say that environment is a band A one?
I would accept that I'm a rich man. I'm praying that it will become reality.
But now, you must work for it.
I'm working for it.
Okay.
And God will bless it. Now, the thing is, some couple of years back, Ikeja Disco was talking to residential areas, and they were agreeing on those who had already started paying even maybe more than this. But they were...
But as she said, if you look at the hike compared to what people pay by generating electricity via diesel,
alternative means. It's still cheap.
It's cheaper, relatively.
Because if you have the consistency of supply, over time, you will see that there is a difference.
Petrol or diesel.
And there is a saving that accrues to you. So it is going to be beneficial if we can have constant electricity supply. And it's not as if the rich are paying for the poor, because when we look at it, those areas that they call band A's, most of these artisans, hairdressers, welders, tailors,
Vulcanizers and so on.
are where we call band D, band C. You are now saying you be giving them 4 to 8 hours of electricity. That means, because it's a one-man business, they don't have the benefit of the opportunity of scale. An SME, at least the SME, makes up like 40%, 40, 50, 60% of the business economic environment in Nigeria. So if these band A people, the large companies and everything are sorted out, what about the
Mekunos?
The Mekunos. How do you want them to also drive their own business? It's cheap. Electricity is still cheap for them, but it's not available. So it doesn't really make any sense.
I'm looking at the bus-stop mathematics now, BC. If you can supply 20-hour non-stop electricity to band A people, is it difficult to supply that same 20 hours to the band F and co, and still bill them accordingly?
Actually,
would government lose anything?
I think all of these things, like we were discussing before
we came on air.
We were saying that every citizen, everybody should be entitled to 24-hour power supply.
Yeah.
That is the
ideally.
That is the ideal thing. But I think what these people did was that...
Who are these people?
I'm talking about these discos.
Okay.
What they just did when they were desperate for money, and they did not also...
You think this is coming
they didn't supply, because I'm in it. It's something that we experienced as a neighborhood.
You band A people.
Not band A people. Not band A people. The point is this. They will not meter people.
Okay.
They look at...
You think that's deliberate?
It is deliberate.
It is deliberate, because when they meter you, the amount of money you will pay will be just what you consume.
Okay.
You can't pay more than what you consume.
If you don't supply me,
if you don't supply
my
me,
credit remains in the meter.
Exactly. And they look at neighborhoods that have the masses. Do you get it? Initially, they just metered some communities, whether part of this system initially. So some of these communities, they were metered, but they weren't getting much money from them in terms of revenue.
Consumption wasn't that high.
So it wasn't, their consumption level wasn't high.
Yeah.
So they now thought of how to get business. They looked at these so-called band A neighborhoods who were thinking that they should have air conditioner all the time, 24 hours and all of that. They want their comfort. And these people are metered. So they will use the money. They will always buy
units.
And this is always generating revenue. We were on
constantly.
We were on band B or the C or whatever.
Or A1.
We thought we were on band A. At a point, people complained the tariff was too high, this and this, so they took us away from that. And people started complaining that they were spending too much money on diesel, on petrol, and that was even when petrol became 500.
So where is the problem as we sit here?
So now, we were even the ones that went to beg them to bring us back to this so-called band we talk about now. So the problem is that this power is not just enough. The supply is not enough. That is the problem. There is scarcity of supply.
Yeah.
And because there is scarcity of supply, it becomes a case of who pays more, gets more.
Yeah.
And the other people that are not even metered, they will now give them estimated
Bill.
Those are the ones actually suffering.
And
Because
they
pay for what they don't use.
They don't use it and they still pay.
And
that's where the regulators should come in. And that I'm saying there should be enough transparency. Let the regulators keep educating consumers so that they know their rights. The regulators should also protect the consumers. I mean, it's their job.
just a minute. I'm sure you've heard, it was in the news that the seat of power, Aso Rock, was owing electricity.
Exactly.
As we sit here, the great University College Hospital Ibadan has been disconnected.
Yeah.
They are owing discos too. So there's trouble, there's problem in the land.
Exactly.
Is it that I'm saying transparency, and that we are still carrying forward the NEPA mentality? Discos are private.
The army headquarters.
They are also going.
So why are they not disconnected? If they were metered, once your unit is exhausted, you will be automatically cut off from light. So we should ask the schools, how come State House is owing you? Is it not metered? If it was metered, why didn't the meter cut off when the unit
ran out?
So really,
the
transparency
first question is the State House metered?
metered, yes.
Okay.
Probably it is not metered.
I hope it's not a rhetorical question.
Because if it is metered, really,
They shouldn't be owing them.
But I also think that the debt could have been accumulated
From NEPA, legacy.
Old NEPA, before these discos came in.
That's what the UCA is pleading now.
That's what is probably happening there. And they disconnected usage. Because even as of yesterday, the doctors are saying that they're not going to work because of
That's it, no
lack
light.
of power and all of that.
And you see, so when you look at the Nigerian society, you would keep wondering, how do we keep doing these things? Check the budget for UCH. Power is in that budget, but they are still owing these schools. So what happened to that budget line?
To me and BC, I know that the Lagos State Secretariat runs on solar.
IPP.
It is possible
Yeah, it is possible.
to exploit alternative sources.
Yes.
Let's go there.
But you know, there's this REA, they are called REA, this government agency that is into alternative power supply. And they've been doing these solar farms in some government institutions, universities, and stuff
Across
like
the
that.
country?
Across the country. But somehow, I think they slowed down. You know, corruption is so much etched into our DNA that anything that would take us from buying diesel when it comes to power, we're going to fight against it. Because I think ASU should actually be really interested that that project should be fast-tracked so that all the government universities are on solar. At least be sure that you have electricity to run your labs so that you can carry out your research. I've not heard anything about that program since this new government came into office.
Sorry, sometimes you are tempted to ask, BC to me, are we damned?
We are not damned. We are not damned. What the problems in Nigeria are not extraordinary. Is the approach
Man-made?
Yes, it's the approach of solving the problems that is, and the way we know that we are not damned is when you look at yourself, your personal life, you have challenges,
And you are
solving your problems. So if each individual is solving their problems the way they can,
collectively, it shouldn't be a problem for us.
So if we can't solve our problems, it's because some people are benefiting from the problems and they don't want those problems to be solved. And unfortunately, these people keep getting to that position where they can stop
that
it.
many Nigerians must be benefiting from the darkness in the land.
Not many, not many,
but a few, but maybe a large number, because now.
No, what are we saying? A few, a large number.
A few is maybe you might be saying 1,000, but it's more than that, because when you take the universities that we are talking about, they keep buying diesel. So all the federal universities, state universities, so take the people there buying diesel. Take every other government parastatals buying diesel. Take state government powering street lights with diesel. I mean, so you can see that it's not a few. And then when we are talking about alternative sources,
yeah,
you will still be amazed that state governments in Nigeria are still powering street lights with diesel, electricity, when we know that there are solar panel street lights that you can install. And
I'm sitting here, I'm looking at a country like Morocco, perhaps the leader in Africa in the area of solar energy generation.
Yeah, they are.
The country is on.
But you see, it is not rocket science, at least.
It is not.
By the time Gbadabe Amila was doing his own constituency project, he lit up Surulere with solar street lights. So if you get into Surulere, at least a considerable part of Surulere is lit up at night, even if there is no supply from disco. So it is not rocket science. It's just that
individuals do.
Yeah.
Yes. So it is because people are benefiting, like you said. Also remember that we have a contract with Cement to ramp up the supply at the disco's end. When they started initially, we were getting updates. You know, sometimes when you get updates and you know that we will soon get out of this, you can start managing yourself. But we don't even know how far with cement.
Not knowing how far.
Leave room for people to.
He's saying the Nigerian thing. I hear in the street parlance or lingo, may Nigeria not happen to you. So Nigeria is happening to us.
We are the ones happening to ourselves. Nigeria is not. We are Nigeria.
As a geographical expression, there's nothing wrong with Nigeria.
There's nothing wrong with us. I'm not the one that would insist that we should still be buying diesel to power street lights.
Yeah, is it wrong or out of place to go back and ask former President Olusegun Obasanjo what happened to the $16 billion voted for power in his time? Shouldn't we have?
Is it the only one that?
No. Let's start from the. Let's start from somewhere.
Let me tell you. They say that all things are passing away, the old, new things. Because if you say we should be going to be asking questions,
we are good.
We won't go anywhere. So even if we start live from today, if we decide that we want to start doing things well from today, I think it's something that is doable. So far, our mind, our soul, and our spirit.
Clear.
Yes.
Clear.
We are into it.
To me, the fight is now to prop up, save the national currency. And you and I know that if we can't generate power enough to propel production capacity, the Naira will still be in trouble.
Yeah, so that's also a problem, because, you know, there is no isolated problem and there is no isolated solution. All these things are intertwined. You solve power problem, it will solve this other problem, it will solve the other. We were crying that electricity generation and supply should be taken away from the
government.
The government that
they have been.
The government, which has not been done. You would expect that now that it is in the concurrent list, taken away from the exclusive list and put in, is now in the exclusive list. All the people that were clamoring,
Gencos and Discos have been removed from the exclusive. What about the transmission? Because transmission is the problem.
Yes, it is the problem, which is where the Discos coming.
Is still in charge of transmission.
No, the Discos are the one transmitting. Okay, there is a transmission. Yes, of Nigeria. So then the question is, well, some people said for security, but when you are transmitting and the discos are not supplying me, what happens to the security that you are trying to protect? Because if I'm in darkness, a whole lot of things happen in darkness.
Because there are things that could be put in place for transmission to actually occur, which is not perfect.
So a whole lot
I
of...
agree. You know, the cross-country power lines we see cannot take more than 3,000 to 5,000 megawatts. You can't pass 7,000, 10,000
So even
megawatts.
the people that bought the Gencos are not making as much money as... So it's stopping investors coming into...
Why won't they let go?
It's $1 million question. That means some people are benefiting from that, and to their own pocket, not for the benefit
I
of...
think we must begin to wind down. BC, is it possible in 60 seconds from the top to take it home? Federal government hikes electricity tariff, but for Band A customers.
Well, yeah. I think what we need is proper supply of electricity to Nigerians, not just a case of hiking tariff for some people or saying that some people are not going to pay more. Because if you are not paying and you are just consuming darkness, what is the essence of that? I think what Nigerians want is regular power supply.
They are ready to pay for it.
They are ready to pay for it.
Okay.
They want regular power supply. And Band-Aid consumers or customers are not the only electricity consumers
In the country, yeah.
Yeah, all of us, we want to consume electricity and we are ready to pay for it.
To me, how do you bury this now?
Yeah, when I said we need clarity. It is very important. Transparency in this electricity ecosystem. Let us know who is doing what, and let us know what our rights are as consumers. So that, because consumers are getting the short end of the stick, as we are now. So, like she said, we all need regular power supply. If I can only put on my appliances for 6 hours in a day, I will do that. But I'm sure that anytime I need to turn them on, there is electricity supply. So I will pay for what I'm using.
All right.
And I don't think Nigerians are averse to that.
Okay, let's stop the discussion here. And tell the federal government of Nigeria, as indeed all governments in Nigeria, let there be electricity light for every Nigerian. Every Nigerian is ready to pay for it. And why not? Let's thank Dr. Olabisi Deji Folutile for coming. Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Go with the light.
I do.
To me, Olowe, I greet you for coming.
My pleasure.
Yeah. To me, you are still in Band A.
I don't know which band I am.
Okay.
But I'm getting regular supply.
All right. I'm out of here. Until the next time, this is yours sincerely, Citizen Jones Hussein saying bye-bye now. Take care. Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.